All present, quorum established. Approval of agenda. Ron Kulas Sr. makes a motion to approve the agenda, seconded by Anita Uncle Johnson. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Approval of meeting minutes. Modena Waters makes a motion to approve the minutes for legislative session number 7, November 11th, 2017, with corrections. Seconded by Ben Wolf. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Old business. Ron Haiti makes a motion to approve resolution ALCY 2017-032, Self-Determination 638 Contracts Authorization Act of 2017. Seconded by Renee Plata. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Modena Waters makes a motion to approve resolution KLCY 2017-033, Social Services Contract 638 Program with corrections. Seconded by Ron Kulas Sr. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Ron Kulas Sr. makes a motion to approve resolution KLCY 2017-034, Grant Application Authorization Act of 2017. Seconded by Anita Uncle Johnson. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Renee Plata makes a motion to approve resolution KLCY 2017-035, Start Establishment and Funding Act of 2017 with corrections. Seconded by Ron Kulas Sr. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, and 0 absent. Renee Plata makes a motion to approve the override order KL0CY 2017-027, Enrollment and Membership Act of 2017. Seconded by Anita Uncle Johnson. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Rhonda Haiti makes a motion to approve the override order KL0CY 2017, the Nomination and Confirmation of Appointees Act 2017. Seconded by Anita Uncle Johnson. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, 0 absent. New business. Ben Wolf makes a motion to approve legislative order KLO CY 2017-029, confirm confirmation of Scott Kwaku to the Kiowa Election Commission, District Number 6, seconded by Ron Kulas Sr. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained, and 0 absent. Ron Kulas Sr. makes a motion to adjourn at 10:55 a.m., seconded by Rhonda I. Haiti. Motion carries 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstain.
Thank you, Rhonda. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular session number 8?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for regular session number 8.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Ron and Anita. Call for the vote, please, Rhonda, if you're ready.
Yes. Renee Plattis.
Yes.
Rhonda I. Haiti. Yes. Ron Kulas.
Yes.
Dave Kimisel.
Yes.
Anita Uncle Johnson.
Yes.
Modena Waters.
Yes.
Ben Lucero Wolf.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 0 absent. Motion carries.
All right, so next item on our agenda is our old business, the resolution to authorization to conduct business with the Office of the Special Trustee for American Indians. You have that resolution before you. The purpose of this, so that the tribe knows, is this gives this resolution for the Office of the Special Trustee for American Indians comes from, we had an original resolution that we submitted to that office who takes care of our judgment funds. And we had a resolution previously under the KBC, and we named those people who have the authority to go to the BIA to seek information from the our trustee or any other information. This is in particular to the Office of the Special Trustee for our tribe. So it names everyone who was the KBC and is now the executive branch, which is Matthew Kamalti, Charles Eisenberger has this right, Rhonda has this right, myself, Modena, everybody at this table. So this would not be a right that would be given to any tribal member, to any executive director. It's strictly for the members of this tribe. I'm sorry, of these branches of our government. So we don't limit anybody from seeking information through that office at the BIA. And like I said, has to do with our lands, our judgment funds. This is the information. So are there any corrections or anything with this? If we have no discussion, because it's pretty flat and dry as far as us just reaffirming as the legislature, we are putting it into a law.
One question.
Yes, Dave?
The judgment 20% funds, that's similar.
Well, Mitch Stevens is the special trustee for the tribe. And he is the one that, this is about the judgment funds, yes. So, Rhonda, if you could read the resolution for the tribal members? If there's no further discussion, or if anybody wanted to bring any kind of discussion up after we read the resolution, that would be fine. But if Rhonda could read the resolution first.
Yeah, just the resolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Authorization, this is going to be Kiowa Tribe Resolution Number KLCY 20801. Yeah, 01. Authorization to conduct business with the Office of Special Trustee for American Indians. At a duly called session of the legislature of the Kiowa Tribe held this 13th day of January 2018, following resolution and law were adopted. Whereas the Kiowa Tribe is a sovereign nation since time immemorial and is federally recognized as a tribal government by the United States. And whereas the legislature is vested with the authority to pass laws and resolutions pursuant to Article 6A of the Constitution of the Kiowa Tribe, and to pass legislative orders pursuant to Article 6, Section 6C. And whereas the following individuals are recognized by resolution to conduct the legislative and executive business of the tribe: Matthew M. Camalti, Chairman; Charles Eisenberger, Vice Chairman; Rhonda I. Haiti, Secretary; Renee Plata, Speaker of the Legislature; Modena Waters, Legislator; Ben Wolf, Legislator; Dave Gimasetta, Legislator; Ron Pula, Senior Legislator; Anita Johnson, Legislator. Whereas the Kiowa Tribe officials listed above have been duly elected to engage in and conduct legislative and executive business with the Office of Special Trustee for American Indians, unless noted differently by tribal resolution. And whereas this authority includes, but is not restricted to, the following actions: request disbursements, request access to tribal records, request copies of tribal records, and provide tribal investment objectives and case needs by law. Now therefore be it resolved that the legislature hereby authorizes and approves the Kiowa Tribe elected officials to conduct business with the Office of Special Trustee for American Indians. Be it further resolved that the legislature hereby authorizes the chairman and the speaker of the legislature to officially notify the Office of Special Trustee for American Indians of any changes in the names of the elected officials of the tribe as listed above, and such authorization shall expire on December 31st, 2022. Be it finally resolved that the legislature hereby enacts an attached law entitled Authorization to Conduct Business with the Office of Special Trustee for American Indians. And then certification.
Is that a typo?
Which one?
December 31st,
Yeah, it's a
2022.
typo.
So we need a correction because
But it would.
I will go off in June, Ron will go off, he will go off. So, well, we need to change that
You're right.
date. So, should it be 2018?
Yes.
So let's change that to approximately December 31st, 2018. And as it says there, if we're changing any names, we added actually Ben and Modena to this document because they weren't on here as the
Wait, just a
KBC.
minute. On this right here, this is for everybody.
What do you mean?
The authorization, that is right, December 31st, 2022, because that's the end of the very last one on here at the moment. So next year, whomever's going off, we'll do another one.
Why?
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
What do
And
you mean?
one will have to be done every time.
I would say take it to the end of the year.
Okay.
I shouldn't be on here till 2022.
One will
Unless
be done
I'm,
every
you
year.
know, unless I wasn't
2018,
elected, I don't, you know, you don't even know
So,
who's gonna
what
be.
month?
I'm gonna say December 31st, 20, we'll make it 2018, just because we never know if the election in June is gonna be held up. I don't wanna specifically say
Okay.
in June that those members coming off the board
That
or
we've got time to redo it.
that we would have time to do it. And give everybody the right, so we,
Oh, you already did that.
okay, also, Tracy, now therefore be it,
Okay.
so that other it,
Okay.
take it out. Is there any discussion on this? Any further discussion?
Not really, it just says, be it further resolved that the legislature hereby authorizes the chairman and the speaker of the legislature to officially notify the office of special trustee for American Indians of any changes in the names of the elected officials of the tribe as listed above. So it's already kind of taken care of.
Okay, so do you,
So I would just go ahead and leave it till
as chairman, because
2022.
it's just not specifically as a member?
Yes.
Okay, so the only typo is the
So leave
it.
the other one?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that does not sound right. Now, therefore, it be, it's a typo, right?
Yeah,
It's
but
an
I'm talking
extra
about the date. just-
Yeah, because
As
it
of
doesn't
June.
actually, in that part of the further resolved,
Okay.
it states chairman and speaker are responsible.
Because in June, 5 names could come off.
I
Chairman, vice
Oh, yeah.
chairman,
forgot. The
3
executive branch.
legislators are new.
Yes. So it does state it's the responsibility of the chairman and speaker. Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't reading that right. Is there any other discussion on this resolution? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve resolution CY 2018-01.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Any more discussion? Then we'll proceed with the vote, Rhonda.
Renee Tata,
Yes.
Rhonda Ahady, yes. Ron Kula,
Yes.
Dave Gemsell,
Yes.
Anita Uncle Johnson,
Yes.
Modena Waters,
Yes.
Ben Wolf.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstains, 0 absent, motion carries.
Thank you, Rhonda. And everybody, the resolution, as we were doing them before, the numbers were already on them. On the resolutions from now on, we will state the numbers as we go along, just in case a resolution is tabled or something to that effect, pulled off the agenda. So this resolution is KLCY 2018, and you can just mark that at 001. It's the first resolution and that has been passed to draft this law for the year 2018. So our next item on the agenda is the resolution for the Nepotism Prevention Act of 2018. And if everybody will turn to that, should be the next item in your packet. Does everybody have that resolution?
Not yet.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, the resolution is actually behind the law. The resolution just says we're passing it. I rather tell the tribe the law in case anybody, since we have an audience today. Of course, we have our audience on the internet, but for the people in the room, I would like Rhonda to read the reason for this law. I want you to read the law rather than the resolution because it's just saying we're gonna pass the law.
Okay, this enactment shall be known as the Nepotism Prevention Act of 2018. The purpose of this law, the purpose of this act is to prohibit a director or employee of the tribe from hiring a close relative or to directly manage or supervise a close relative in order to ensure the integrity of the personnel and management system and to otherwise avoid any appearance of impropriety. Findings. The legislature finds that the tribe currently employs hundreds of people in its governmental and business operation. B, the Constitution of the tribe requires the tribe to provide equal protection, application, and opportunity under the law, including the tribe's employment laws. C, the legislature has received complaints about directors and other hirings and or supervised close relatives, thereby creating the appearance of impropriety. D, the legislature does not intend to prohibit the hiring of close relatives of existing employees. However, the legislature intends to create a system that provides for the fair and unbiased evaluation of candidates for employment opportunities in the tribe. Section 1.4 definitions. A close relative shall mean a family relative in the first degree, which shall be limited to mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, husband, wife, aunt, uncle, or to nephew, niece, and first cousins. B, hiring authority shall mean any person or persons with the authority to make a hiring decision. Section 1.5 hiring. A, upon review of the candidates applying for a job with the tribe, the hiring authority shall not make any decisions to hire a close relative, and the person or persons serving as the hiring authority shall recuse from the decision, notwithstanding any law or policy to the contrary. B, for all new hires after the effective date of this act, the hiring authority shall not include any close relatives of any candidate for employment. Section 1.6, supervision and management of an existing employee who is a close relative. A, no executive branch official or employee of the tribe shall directly manage or supervise a close relative. B, upon the effective date of this act, any employee who is serving as a manager or supervisor of a close relative shall notify the chairman in writing, and the chairman shall take steps to reorganize the line of authority between the manager or supervisor and the employee to eliminate any direct management or supervision of a close relative, notwithstanding any law or policy to the contrary.
Do we have discussion?
I have a question.
Sure.
In our personnel policies and procedures, is that language in there? On nepotism? You cannot speak the very words that I'm reading or just heard. It's already in the
I'm not
policies.
sure what the policies and procedures handbook says for the tribe. We adopt this
I
bill.
think it does contain some of those words.
I do believe you're correct in stating that.
But it's
Dave.
not being followed.
Yeah.
But
That's the one other than get. But with this
Yeah.
law, it would enforce those policies.
it would enforce a law to the tribe to conform to this.
The law supersedes any policy.
Any policy and procedure. And yes, we will hand this to HR or anybody that needs to have this information. I would like to address section 1.5 under the definitions of close relative to include stepmother, stepbrother, stepfather. And I believe the policies and procedure, I'm told, are also state that as defining close relatives, that it includes the remarriage of somebody or that type as being a member considered a family relative in the first degree.
What about, does it matter if adopted? Well, legally adopted or legally, yeah. So,
Is there any other discussion?
So item A will be expanded to include.
I would like to make a motion that amends that to include a step relationship in the first degree. If we're ready to proceed, I will make that motion to approve the nepotism. Are we ready? I'm sorry, I don't want to get ahead of myself. If there's no further discussion anywhere in this room on it,
What about the adopted though? Like, she brought up, I mean, that's a possibility.
well, we would include, it
Oh,
would,
is it in
because
there?
once they're adopted,
Is it
legally.
legal?
because we don't really know, you wouldn't, you might know where the child came from, but once they're your family, they're your family. That's how we're looking at that, are we
Well,
not?
the way the law is anymore, I hate to say it, but according to the law,
who was?
a lot of things are interesting what you find out that can be pursued
Yeah.
as an avenue, is what I'm saying. But there was no offense to anybody, there was a lady that was passed away recently, back a few months ago, and she had adopted 4 children, just adopted, but she had 5 of her own. But you see that.
So if she worked here, what we're saying.
No, dear, she was not from this area.
Right, but for example, if she worked here and say, or say she was a sister to somebody who was going to be a supervisor
Mhm.
of that, her niece or nephew who was adopted by her sister or brother, they would be considered a close relative.
So it doesn't have to go without saying, you don't have to say adopted in your law.
Well, we're including, we could,
Well, yeah, the way I was looking at it is legally, would you have a paper from the state that you legally adopted somebody in court, then that's your son or that's your daughter. Because legally,
Yeah, I'm just going with the wording though. It's interesting how sometimes things are turned around
so
without you
you
knowing
want to
about
put
it.
legally adopted in there.
including the step
Step relative in the first degree
or
Degree.
the,
and the legally adopted
Yeah,
in the
and
first
that way
degree.
it would-
I have no problem with doing that. Does anybody have any problem to make it a little more specific by including not only the step relative, but also
legally
in the
adopted.
case of a
Legally adopted
Yeah.
because
legally adopted?
Yeah.
Well, that finished it all up. Because I was kind of
I'm
surprised.
willing to do that. Is
Yeah.
everybody in?
The other issue too is culturally, we claim him.
Yeah, that's what why we're saying legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
'Cause you
followed that to the letter,
Really?
yes.
Well-
The old way, but now of course we're.
Grandpa Allen had relatives from adopted relatives from different tribes. Allen Suntuko, he claimed
Oh, really?
everybody. Yeah.
But that was a culture that we really observed
Really?
from the old days.
Mm.
Am I right or wrong, guys? I mean, we're all Kiowa, so everybody knows things,
Back in the day, yeah.
and we honored that.
Mhm. Well,
No, I don't think we would go that
We don't want to apply it today, though.
No.
No.
I think that would be more difficult.
Yeah, yeah. That's, anybody can say anything on that one. We have to look at
Yeah, none of us
Approve.
would be working.
Okay, so are we ready to proceed on with this
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Nepotism Prevention Act of 2018, and also to include under section 1.4 definition A, that we include the step relationship as being first degree, or any legally adopted children to be included in that definition as a close relative when we speak of the hiring and the supervision of employees who are here. And that is my motion.
Stepchildren or legally adopted relative in the first degree, I would say.
Right. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you,
Resolution
Ben.
for KLCY
And- Yeah, that's gonna be KLCY 2018-02.
Is there any more discussion in regard to this before we take our final vote? If not, please call for the vote.
Renee Plata,
Yes.
Rhonda Ahady, yes. Ron Kula, Senior,
Yes.
Dave Dimsell,
Yes.
Anita Anko Johnson,
Yes.
Regina Waters,
Yes.
Ben Lucera, Rebecca Wolf.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstained, 0 absent, motion carries.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Just a side note on that, there's tribes that are in court yet on issues similar to things like that. Or a tribal member is placed to an adoption from an out-of-state person. And the tribes are really battling that. There's the Eastern tribe.
Really?
It's been in the papers ongoing for about, 5 years.
Really?
Cherokee, remember the child, it was a youngster.
Mm.
And back and forth with their tribe. Both tribe and the adopted parents that are non-Indian and battling it out.
They were not Indian? Really?
But they wanted that child to be recognized.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And the tribe, I don't know what the issue really was, but
Yeah.
it seemed like the tribe was kind of hesitant in
Yeah.
that issue.
Well, that's why I kind of felt necessary to go ahead and say what I was kind of surprised as to what I really didn't know, but I found out. But anyway,
All right.
I thought it might help you kind of, what you say, alleviate some legal things later on to have to mess with. I hate to say it like that, but
All right. Thank you very much. Since we're past that item, I'd like to move on to our next item, which is a resolution concerning, and we called this item Economic Development Due Diligence Act of 2018. And the resolution is kind of pretty the same way, standard resolution as to us adopting it. I would rather Rhonda read the law of our intent to adopt this law today. Whenever you're ready, Rhonda.
Okay. The Enactment Act,
Okay, excuse me.
the enactment shall be known as the Economic Development Due Diligence Act of 2017. Purpose of this act to establish a process to evaluate and conduct due diligence for potential economic development projects, including the proposed purchase by the tribe of the health clinic in Carnegie, Oklahoma, and a convenience store near Lone Wolf, Oklahoma, to determine if the proposed project or purchase represents a sound financial investment. The legislature finds that A, the legislature has determined that it is in the best interest of the tribe to identify, promote, and pursue economic development projects. And B, the tribe was recently presented with an investment opportunity involving the potential purpose of a health clinic building in Carnegie, Oklahoma, and convenience store near Lone Wolf, Oklahoma, clinic project, in parentheses. And C, the tribe should establish a process to evaluate potential economic development projects, including the clinic project, to determine their viability and investment and revenue potential in order to minimize risk and the loss of investment funds. Due diligence, A, the director of the planning office, director, or in the absence of a director, the chairman or his designee shall conduct a thorough due diligence investigation and evaluation, including preparation of a written report analyzing each potential economic development project under consideration by the tribe. B, the director, or in the absence of a director, the chairman of his designee shall conduct a thorough due diligence investigation and evaluation, including preparation of a due diligence report analyzing the proposed clinic project, which shall include but not be limited to the following. 1, identification of funding to acquire and complete the clinic project. 2, a feasibility study analyzing the viability of the businesses. 3, a thorough analysis of the audited financial statement and audits of the existing business for the last 3 years. 4, projections of revenue for the business. 5, a schedule of accounts payable and accounts receivable for the businesses. 6, other financial information, including assets, inventory, debts, liabilities, strategic plan, credit report, and any internal controls. 7, the existing businesses and other organizational structure, including any organic documents, meeting minutes, resolutions, and annual reports. 8, any reports provided to the Secretary of State where the business is incorporated, if any, including a certificate in good standing issued by the respective state. 9, a list of board of directors. 10, all assets, including physical assets, real property, buildings, equipment. 11, all existing leases, contracts, and other legal documents involving the businesses. 12, a list of employees and their qualifications, salaries, benefits, personnel policies. 13, copies of all litigation documents involving the businesses, including any arbitration decisions during the last 5 years and any ongoing litigation or disputes or threatening litigations. 14, insurance policies in effect and claim history of the businesses. 15, copies of any permits or licenses. 16, detailed reports on any environmental hazards, liabilities, litigation, and any federal, state, or local regulatory notices. 17, status of any tax disputes, audits, settlements, liens, and tax filings for the last 5 years. 18, a list of professional advisors for the businesses, including accounting firms, law firms, consulting firms, and other professionals used by the businesses. 19, any customer information maintained by the businesses. 20, the identification and estimated costs for realtor services necessary for acquiring the property. And 21, any other pertinent information that will assist the tribe in determining the economic viability of the clinic project.
Is there discussion? I'd like to say that this was presented to us to talk to by the chairman, for us to talk to the seller of the clinic that sits here in Carnegie, the owner of the building, and in purchasing that property. So we were asked afterwards, yes or no, we want to do it. I did not feel there was, nor I believe anybody on this board or this branch felt that we had enough information to make a decision after talking to the gentleman. So because of that, we feel that more information, if the chairman wishes to go with this project, that he must bring to us more information before we would be able to make a educated decision on purchasing that clinic over there.
We just want to be able to negotiate and see that it was a fair price and beneficial to the tribe. That's the purpose of it. And I think I stated in my statements in our business discussion was I didn't want the other add-on to this project to be put in there, and that's that C-store over in Longwood. I just didn't think if we go into business, our purpose of going into business is to make money. And if it's costing us the tribe to run a business, that's bad business on our part. I just think that, like I stated to the chairman, I said a lot of our little towns are drying up. I have not too sure on C-stores and gas stations anymore because people are moving away to the point where even some of our schools consider, what do you call it, going into other schools to stay able to educate our kids. And I just want to make sure that it not be one project. Maybe this thing need to be divided up, and I'm for the clinic. I don't want to lose any type of medical service that we currently have. That's the primary interest for the benefit of our people. And if it can be, and we dealing with Indian Health Services too, because they're the ones that are responsible for maintaining that site for the benefit of the tribe. So there were a lot of other issues that I had that I stated to the chairman. I'm really cautious about going in business, but I'm also understanding that we do need services in the medical field, and I don't want anything to move from here.
I would like to include that during the time of the discussion with the owner of the properties, that he did not present any documentation on any of the things that we have requested, just to let y'all know that.
He could not answer tax information, net income of his convenience store in 2016, what the property taxes were in Lonewood, how many employees he had, but certainly had a price that I believe is overinflated for the building. As far as the clinic and the IHS contract, it doesn't automatically come with the building. They are housed there. We had this contract with the tribe previously. The clinic was held here. Which way is this? West, south?
So,
Okay, so the clinic was here originally. We lost that funding because of non-access for the people and our gates being closed. In my opinion, the tribe could have made it a way for the people to come here. So we lost those funds. The building and the price of the building, I have a problem with. If it goes under with this man because he's having financial problems or whatever he wants to sell, whatever his issues are, if the bank assumes the process, I believe it's a better opportunity maybe, but we still need all the information about this. Anybody that brings forward a business plan, because many people have many ideas, we should get this, we've heard it from everybody, we need this. This tribe needs lots of things. Everything is just an idea. If you cannot do the due diligence that gives us an informed education on what we're doing, then how can a business succeed?
That's why I
You
said
must
negotiation
have-
never took place on our part.
You have to have information before you proceed on any business project, in my opinion. I cannot, after speaking with this man and the little information, except it's a good idea, a healthcare clinic either way will prevail in this. I mean, we could do that, open a gate. Head Start will be moving to their new schools. Perhaps this building would be available again. We could give access to the people. The IHS contract does not come with the building. It's there. It could be assumed by us. So in my mind, I couldn't give our chairman an affirmative vote on that after having none of this information in front of us.
And may I add a little to what you're saying? They may be in opposition to the position we're taking. We don't know if the billing is suitable for our clinic anymore up here. I understand there's a lot of issues in buildings that were built 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I'm not sure that it would pass that type of test now, or we can put a medical building there. Our Head Start had issues with the site itself If you all are all familiar with some of the things that
Please,
play here.
somebody else.
And the thing that I'm cautious about is, yes, we have a building that's accessible, but is it suitable to do what we want to do?
That's true. You're right in saying that, Dave. I'm not saying they could walk in there today and we put IHS back in there, but it's certainly an option that would be cheaper than 1.5 million. So,
Surely.
and the price is very inflated. Yes, June, did you want to say something?
Yes, I have a question.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
talking about the clinic. I'm like, Dave, we do need the clinic, but on this thing that the chairman is trying to work out on the clinic, does that include the land, or is he just gonna buy the building?
I believe there's like a little 5 acre.
Includes the land.
It includes the land. I think it's a little, is it 5
Little
acres?
5 acre
I don't even
tract.
know if it's 5 acres.
The little track.
Yeah, it's a little kind of crazy track. Is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
they
But
go.
it's fee land,
So they-
it's not trust.
It would have to be put in trust.
Well, I tell you what, you're not gonna have any luck putting anything in trust right now.
Thank you for that
Oh,
information.
it's hard,
Yes,
it's real hard,
we are aware.
because, yeah,
So for us to have told the chairman yes, first of all, we have $1.5 million.
is,
Unless the chairman has identified it, I know of, and to me, that's inflated. I don't think any building is worth
No.
1.5 million in Carnegie, Oklahoma.
No.
If there is,
No.
please let me drive by.
You mean that's what he's asking?
The gentleman, the seller,
Well, has
It's
our
1.5.
deposit,
it's 1.5. Now, we do have judgment funds in the amount that the tribe has approved. But we have not drawn any of those monies down, and there are rules on those judgment funds. They
Yes.
can't just go. There's a small part that goes for land purchase, 300,000.
I have a,
We have a commitment in our budget that was just approved by the people that we pull a little bit of those judgment funds. So to say we do have 1.5 million coming, but we could not authorize that to go for that.
Yeah, may I say something?
Yes,
We haven't counter, the offer, okay? We just listened to his side, and of course, the seller's gonna always inflate or whatever. But I spoke to one of the persons, I said, you're familiar with real estate transactions, and just listen, but we need to get our own person to say, is that a true value of that place? We do need a building. You might be trying to take advantage of it, knowing that it's a medical building, and we desire to have one in this vicinity. And I don't want anybody to try to inflate something on us and because of that need. But we got all to be mindful. We do have a need, a medical facility here.
does that price include 5 acres, the
It
whole
includes
acreage?
that plus the place in Longwood. And as far as I'm
Oh.
concerned, that should be taken out. I don't even
I
want to
have
consider
another
it.
question.
we had heard this originally when we came on board last year, but never just heard it. Something about the clinic and it being offered for 1.5. We had heard it. No discussion. Well, I mean, there might have been a little discussion. That's when we found out how that happened. This
Well, that's what I
gentleman
wanted.
building, and then he got the contract, and I'm not saying it wouldn't possibly be something that we could do, but at that price,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I have
It's
another
just we don't have all the information
for you, Miss Plata, is when you're working out, and for all of y'all, when you're working out these type of things that involving this much money that should benefit the tribe, is the chairman working very closely with you, or is he going on his own and then bringing it back to you? Or how are y'all working
how-
these out?
How we got the information, is the chairman came in the day before and asked us if we could talk to this gentleman. Did we know what it was about? We didn't know. He asked us to talk to somebody.
Well, that's what I wanted to
So we agreed, you know.
Had he already talked to him and made any
Oh,
kind
yes.
of?
He's already talked.
It's our understanding that he did because
Well,
certain
that's-
questions that I asked the gentleman, he was even, because I said, how did they say they would pay for it? And he was kind of looked at me and he said, 20%. He said 20%. I said, so the chairman had told him something about the 20%, because how would this gentleman really know what the 20%? We know what the 20% funds are, but how would he? He's not Kiowa, you know. He's not, but he does know obviously that the tribe needs a clinic.
They're crooks,
Yeah.
if you want to know.
So,
I worked with them for years out there. I know. How
so
they operate.
anyway, this is how it came about.
What I want to state is that's not fair, because that chairman is still a part of this committee. Why didn't he have the whole thing, have the man to meet with all of you? Why just him?
I think when he asked that we speak to the gentleman, that might have been his intent. I don't know. I didn't talk with the chairman directly, but with him directing him to have him sit down with the legislator, maybe that was his intent to bring us into the discussion of it.
Well, that's not a very good intent. You should be
Well,
on it
I'm
in
just
the
saying,
very
we have to ask him.
Yeah, kind of coincide.
Instead, it sounds like there's already been some kind of a discussion, funding, and that y'all didn't know till.
Well, I absolutely told the man, the 20% money cannot happen with this project.
No,
And if you were led to believe differently,
but we
then
do need
that
the
is-
clinic, but we don't need to be skinned alive.
Right.
To get one.
But in defense of the chairman's duty to the tribe, in defense, the chairman can present or look for ways to elevate the tribal status by business deals and everything. But the proper thing, I would think, if he wants us to be on board, come and talk to us.
Yes, as a group.
So that we can become on board, because this is something, we work
And I'll go back to
coincide.
what I said before. I think
Excuse-
that was his intent.
Okay,
And come over and bring
excuse
us
me.
into the discussion matter. So I don't want to say he.
Okay,
he
a point
bypassed
of
us
order,
No, I think you're getting in the direction, speaker, and trying to be critical of something that we not.
I am not trying to be critical. I
I'm taking
am,
it
Well,
that way.
I am, because this is a group. We voted for the chairman just like you and the rest of you.
Right.
Well, he's still a part of it.
Yes, we do.
okay. So is there any else?
Yes, I have just
Okay.
a short comment. I know that the executive side requested that we authorize them to seek and try to identify monies for this project that we're talking about. That's all they wanted was, they didn't really, they weren't 100% sure the money was available, but they wanted to have the authorization to seek the funds. And that's kind of what this law that we just went over provided, that they would
Excuse me,
in part
Modena is
seek,
speaking.
would seek those and identify those funds, which they haven't, by the way. But this authorized them to do that. And yes, I think we came in late with this whole project. It was amazing to me that, whoa, this has been going on over a year and we're just now hearing about it. So, but to be supportive of them, one of their points was that
if we buy this clinic, then it will bring in $15,000 a month to this tribe, and it will pay for itself eventually. And that was one of their selling points, to say, hey, authorize us to find the money.
Okay,
Well,
and I didn't hear it that way, but, and it wasn't 15,000 on
Well-
the IHS contract.
what she said is a rumor I have heard, and I thought, why would the tribe pay anything for the clinic? I mean, as far as having the clinic to give the tribe money, hey, that's a,
The contract, IHS
I mean,
contract does not automatically come with the building. I talked to IHS about this. If the seller goes under with the financial responsibility of the building, the IHS contract is separate. We could assume that contract if we had a home for the clinic. So the money doesn't automatically come with the building. He would lose the contract. So that's how I look at it. We're not there yet. All this stuff needs to be brought to us. This is why we're making this law. There's also another point, I think it was discussed yesterday, although this is economic development and it says it's a due diligence act, and we're talking about the clinic under the purpose of the act. I do want to say the purpose of this act is to establish a process to evaluate and conduct due diligence for all. I want to include all in their potential economic development projects. And some may, in this case, there's a business there. So that's why we ask for this information. This isn't always the way if we were purchasing or wanting to, say, develop a casino. This is not going to actually apply some of this. It would be a different type of business plan and feasibility study. But we do have this, and at this time, we want to say include all. Did we want to include that one little word, all
Yes.
potential
Yes.
economic development project, just so it's on the record?
It is in this.
To further what your concerns are, when we had an economic development board, they provided a charter for the business committee, and it included a lot of these caution and protections to make sure they did their due diligence in any project. There's a charter that was already established, and we asked them to abide by it. We didn't want you to come in because a seller will sell you anything he can for any whatever. And they're circling above us. I used to tell them they're circling above us. But there is a charter, and the wording of that charter did contain a lot of that language.
Okay, and Dave, this isn't saying about a board. That's not
No,
what we're
But
establishing
there was a
here.
board, and if we're ever
Okay.
going to economic development, we're going to have to establish
Okay,
some.
excuse me over here, but, okay, I want to move on because that's really not relevant to this. I understand you want to give the information to who's here, but is there any more discussion relative to this law we're about to vote on?
Discussion off.
Do I have a motion for this law?
I'll make the motion that we adopt the Economic Development Due Diligence Act of 2017, resolution number KLCY 2018, and it will be 03.
I second.
With the addition of all
In that first
in
sentence?
the purpose in the second sentence, beginning with we include all potential economic development projects.
Does it also include changes to the Economic Development Due Diligence Act of 2018, or is it still subject?
When we begin it.
Okay, so do we, I would say it's 18 now because it is. So we want,
Okay, Economic Development Due Diligence Act of 2018.
I'll second that motion. Rhonda? Oh, I'm sorry.
Who did? Adina. Okay.
Okay, and there's a typo on that page, although it's correct on our agenda. Rhonda made that motion. Modena seconded.
Renee Clada,
Yes.
Rhonda Iady, yes. Ron Kula,
Yes.
Dave Donasell,
Yes.
Anita Onko Johnson,
Yes.
Modena Waters,
Yes.
Ben Wilson.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 0 absent. Motion carries.
Thank you, Rhonda. All right. Our next resolution has to do with the executive legislative and judicial branch contracting authority act of 2018. And here. Okay, and the purpose of the act is to authorize each branch of government to contract for services and supplies in accordance with funds appropriated for such purposes in approved budget. And this is simply where we're giving authority to those branches so that they might sign contracts such as any type of contracts. They must be approved in the budget. There must be money, and we give this authority to the judicial, the legislative, and the executive branch. Also, is there any discussion on this? Has everybody read this completely?
Yes.
I can read the resolution if you'd like.
Sure.
The executive legislature, this is Kiowa Tribe Resolution K, number KLCY 2018, and that will be 04. The Executive, Legislative, and Judicial Branch Contracting Authority Act of 2018 at a duly called session of the legislature of Kiowa Tribe held this 13th day of January 2018, the following resolution and law were adopted. Whereas the legislature is vested with the authority to pass laws and resolutions pursuant to Article 6, Section 6A of the Constitution of the Kiowa Tribe, and whereas the three branches of government, including the Kiowa Casino Operations Authority located within the executive branch, find it necessary to enter into contracts for services and supplies for their respective branches of government in order to fulfill duties and responsibilities, and the legislature finds the need to authorize officials from each branch of government to enter into contracts that are authorized by law in accordance with funds appropriated for such purposes within the approved budgets. Now therefore be it resolved that Be it resolved that the legislature hereby enacts a attached law entitled the Executive, Legislative, and Judicial Branch Contracting Authority Act of 2018.
And we're talking about routine contracts because the process that balances the government is, yes, the chairman can enter into a contract, but it has to be ratified by us. We have to authorize that he enters into a contract. In other words, so that you can't just say, okay, I entered into a contract for the health clinic before we ratify that. So this is routine contracts, the process that the Constitution gives the individual branches the powers to do that, those things such as he presents us a contract, we authorize that contract. So that is still under the Constitution. We're not going away from what the Constitution says, just giving authority to those other branches that they can enter into routine contracts. Yes, ma'am.
Also, I'd like to emphasize on here for the tribe that KIC, no one can make a purchase unless you approve the budget for that purpose. You can't just, none of this government can just go out and purchase anything they want. They have to have an approved budget that you people have approved for us to spend. This portion of the government, the executive portion of the government, the judicial portion of the government, the KIC portion of the government. There's 4 portions. Each one, even the casino, they have to have an approved budget before they can purchase things that they need. So remember that. You have to approve a budget. They have to be spending out of an approved budget before they can make a purchase.
Yes.
Under whereas the 3 branches, whereas the 3 branches of government, including the Kiowa Casino Operations Authority, and shouldn't that also have the gaming commission as well included in that?
Their budget
That's
case comes out of the casinos.
Okay, I just want to make sure it was clear because it has
When the tribe
under the
approves the
includes that.
casino budget, they are included. The KGC, the KCOA are included in that budget
Okay.
when there is an approval.
I just wanted to make sure that it was specific to the findings.
Right.
So,
Question.
Yes, Dave.
Other than on the discussion level, and I apologize because I'm asking a question that probably should have been asked a week ago when we did have the business discussion. We identified the 3 branches of government, but then we put that included the KCOA, Kiowa Casino Operating Government. When I saw that, it jumped out and said, now why are we trying to make them on the level of the 3 branches? They're an appointed branch that was put in place by the tribe to fulfill the NIGC regulates gaming because they were going to be the trustee. They wanted to take the political side out. So what we had to do, what we called the pre-opening agreement, we had to fulfill certain obligations that NIGC imposed upon us because of the closures we had on the casino. So when I read that, it jumped out. I said, now why are we isolating the KCOA on this? They're the authority of the executive branch. I don't know if y'all knew that. There's a pecking order in all governments really, and they report to the executive branch. If they were to enter into contract, that should be within that body. And I'm kind of having problems saying, well, why don't we include everybody, all the branches, the committees that we have? I just want to make sure that we're not trying to do any type of whatever we want to call it, because that's very expensive for that casino to operate. And we know that. There's things that you have to do for operating costs. You have to do upkeep, you have to maintain your facility, because when I will go walk into some casinos, wow, they're first class. And if it takes that kind of monies to upkeep our facility to bring the players, then I'm for it. But they still have to have an approval. We don't want to make them isolated and do their own. I think they should be under the executive branch. That's where they are right now. And we're just kind of working with the executive branch to try to improve and make sure everything runs the way it should run. So I'm just sharing that with you because it did jump out at me. Thank you.
We'll talk with this we have a meeting with them on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know. Table this or table this? Yeah, well, good, we're on this one now. He's talking about that one.
Is there any more discussion on this? Yes,
On KRC Section 3, Reserve Powers, under B, it reads.
under the Constitution,
Yes.
are we talking?
Yes, under the Constitution.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, tell me again?
Okay, Article 5, Section 3, Section B.
Okay, give me a second here.
Okay,
I haven't memorized the Constitution yet.
okay,
So it's section 5, yes.
it's Article 5, Section
Section
3.
3, yes, I see it here.
I guess, Group B and Roman numeral 2. The council shall have the power to authorize the chairman to enter into treaties, compacts, or contracts, and such authorization may include the power to waive sovereign immunity. So that resolution that you're discussing right now, and does that include KFC?
Not specifically. The contracting law, I don't believe it includes KIC.
So,
We don't give the KIC the power to contract services. I don't know what services at this point would
that's
need.
my,
Is that what you're kind of
yeah,
understanding? Or are you talking about the sovereign immunity? Because,
well, the way it reads, it's the council has the power to authorize. the chairman.
that's one area
Okay, so
that,
what you're
that-
discussing doesn't change that.
no, we can't change.
We didn't
This is,
include the
that would
KIC.
be an amendment.
That
But
was
they
my,
have that power.
Right.
They have that power. We also have that power.
that was my
Similar
question.
to that. So, that doesn't change whatsoever. We're talking about the routine contracts that may take place. Now, when Dave speaks of the KCOA, their contracting ability could be, might be considered routine, but it could be large amounts of money. In other words,
They contract with vendors within the millions.
Yes.
You know, the machines.
You know, it can be big. So, but we go to those meetings every month and find out what they're doing. So, you know, we appear at those meetings, so we know what's going on with the casino every month. What contracts are coming through, what they're voting on. So it's not like there's no watchdog to the KCOA. If we disagree with anything there, we state it.
The only safeguard we have is NIDC, they got to review. And that's to keep out the, who's out there. When we first discussed this, I wanted to make sure that they didn't have full authority, any entity have full authority to do what they want to do. There's got to be check and balances.
That's right.
Okay.
Are we ready for a motion for approval, or? I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Executive, Legislative, and Judicial Branch Contracting Authority Act of 2018.
I make a motion that we approve the Executive, Legislative, and Judicial Contracting Authority Act of 2018, 004.
Okay, Anita, I made the motion.
Oh, sorry.
So would you like to?
Give me a second.
I'm in dreaming.
Okay, and you call the number. Any more discussion on this before we proceed on with the vote?
Sorry.
I did that before with Modena.
Renee? No discussion?
No further discussion. Call for the vote, Rhonda,
Renee
please.
Plata,
Yes.
Rhonda Ahady, yes. Ron Kula,
Yes.
Dave Gimson,
Abstain.
abstain. Okay. Anita Uncle Johnson,
Yes.
Modena Waters,
Yes.
Ben Wolf.
Yes.
6 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, and 0 absent. Motion carries.
Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, so our last item for that we're talking about is the Kiowa Casino Operations Authority Reporting and Charter Modification Act. And this has to do with our KCOA charter. Everything in the charter refers to the Kiowa Business Committee. So in us doing our due diligence, we must include that there is a new constitution in effect for the tribe. So the language does not, it keeps talking about the Kiowa Business Committee. We are no longer the Kiowa Business Committee. So we've changed those words where it says throughout the charter, and this charter will now be the 6th amended, defined as the, excuse me, I'm sorry. The charter will be the 6th amended and reinstated charter for the Kiowa Casino Operations Authority. So this is mainly that charter. In refinancing the casino, the tribe voted to refinance the casino and approved a waiver of sovereignty to do that. The casino was working diligently to get the refinancing. We are eligible for refinancing. We have paid to the Luna Development Company all payments that we do. We have a good record that we can seek conventional bank financing. From 14%, Luna's charging us down to 5 to 7%. So we can do this. We're still following the pattern. It could save millions, it could bring more money. But what we found is a blocking stone because the charter did not match the government. So we didn't feel like that waiver applies now because it was authorized by the tribe under the KBC and our government has changed. So there were problems in securing the loan to go ahead and do the bank financing. So this has been worked on for months. Here we are today. I wish this could have happened 5 months ago because we would be voting on a budget modification if this charter had changed 5 months ago. We would be voting on a budget modification today, I believe, to include another 2.4 million within the tribal funds, but we're not there yet. We must have another waiver to be voted on by the people for us to proceed or to move forward in getting the financing because all the documents got to match. This charter did not match when it said Kiowa Business Committee.
And that's a temporary waiver for this specific business transaction.
So that will be coming forward. That issue of sovereignty, to waive the sovereignty, we can't give. KCOA had asked us to waive the sovereignty. We cannot do that. We are limited by the Constitution. It says we can give some sovereignty away up to 100,000. We can't, nor can the chairman. We could not authorize the chairman to enter into that contract. So, there was kind of a blocking thing and seeing if it could be done, and it's taken time, and we're not there yet. But we certainly want to refinance the casino if we're eligible. We're good with how they're paying the bills there, we are eligible for conventional banking financing now. We would be in a loan debt, but we would save millions. So we are looking to the future on that, and that's what we're doing basically on this charter changes.
Refinancing would bring the interest rate
Yeah.
way down.
Yeah,
We'll
we need
say-
the charter up to date.
Yes, and we need the charter up to date. We will next work on the gaming commission. That's a little different process, but the wording, to include executive or whoever the branch is in their government wording we're going to fix that, but it's one thing at a time. And that document would actually have to go to the Gaming National to also be approved. So it will be a longer process, but all language, it's every day things come up that need to be fixed into this document that we are now under. So it's not easy because of everything else, but we're trying to do what we can for the tribe to move forward.
If we do move and try to do everything, we want to make sure it's in line with the Constitution. That's why
Exactly.
A lot of things.
Exactly, Dave. That's what we're trying to look at. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we pass the Kiowa Casino Operations Authority Reporting and Charter Modification Act of 2018.
And it has been given resolution number KLCY 201805.
And I'll second that motion.
Renee Plata,
Yes.
Ron Ahady, yes. Ron Poole,
Yes.
David Norrisdale,
Yeah.
Anita Onko, Johnson, Adina Waters,
Yes.
Ben Wolf,
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstains, 0 absent, motion carries.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Dave.
I think that we should, in the future, as soon as possible, make one for the gaming commission. But they're under the impression they don't have to give us any monthly reports. Because it was changed under the old regime that was in. They said that the KBC at that time changed that and they don't have to do a monthly report. I said, ooh.
Well, that certainly could be included in adjusting that charter because,
We should have one just similar to this. With the
okay, and we did meet with the KGC recently this week. We had a conversation with them. They brought us all their financials. Everything we asked for, they included. And their ordinance right now does say that. It was changed that they don't have to provide reports. But we asked them to come over here and talk to us. And they came in and just great meeting, I thought, with them. And they never flinched on providing us with anything.
You might name them. Because a lot of
And this
people don't
is
know who they are.
Robbie Adutto.
Ryan.
I'm sorry, Ryan Adutto. Sayato and Sean Burt is our three appointees. They are the commissioners for the gaming commission. And they make sure of the regulatory operation of the casino, that all functions are being done with the regulatory. Excuse me? The acting executive director? Okay, and the acting executive director is Margaret Kamalti at this time, in case anybody doesn't know. In fact, she's been in there for years now. They have never hired a executive director for quite, I don't know why. I'm not sure.
That's not the position that Earl Palmer had.
Sean Burt took Earl Palmer's place.
as a commissioner.
Earl was a commissioner.
Earl, he was a commissioner when we came on here. And Sean took his place.
The statement I made was they didn't have to make a report. That was on their last report that we received when we came in office, that they didn't have to give a report, but they were going to give us one because we're all new. And I saw they didn't have to give a month report because it was changed by the previous administration. I said, hold on here, time out.
Well, the reason I ask is I know that when, whatever the problem was over there, anyway, when Earl got let go, there was $1.2 million left in his budget.
Well, this was actually a reason for us inviting the
Yeah. Because the reason
because
I
of
know
monies
this,
that might be available under their that might be surplus monies that were available to the tribe. The monies that they have invested are in CDs. They have 4 CDs. They're going to mature in 4 months again. I guess every
Yeah.
it's like a 6-month term they're using. We asked what those monies were for. They have been saving for a home for the KGC. And we had discussion on them using those monies for a home because to date now, the Gaming Commission is housing in Chickasha, and pretty much about $240,000 has been used. You know, we paid rental fees over there. So for what they're paying right now, and we do all repairs. So it would be wonderful if we could give them a home. And there was some discussion of, some surplus land there around the Burden Casino and building a home and perhaps having some other offices, perhaps that are judicial go in that building. Because
KCOA housed in there too with them.
no,
Well,
the
there's enough
KCOA,
property there at Burden there, that's tribal land where we got our casino now, the small casino. Right behind there, at one time we did project that maybe we should put our headquarters there for the gaming. Because that $20,000 we were paying monthly rent, we had to maintain everything in that building right now, even right now. So it's
Well,
not only
I was-
costing the rent, but we had to pay it out
Well,
extra.
my question was, is the KGC and KCOAs in the same building?
no,
or what?
KCOA has no permanent home because they're not,
Well, where
you know,
do they work?
KG,
Where do they
KG,
work from?
they just, they don't they're not in, the KGC office are the ones, those people employed over there at the Gaming Commission, they have to have an office because they're doing background checks and that type of thing. The commissioners go there to meet. They do inspections, they deal with the casino. But whereas KCOA, they're not working for us on a day-to-day
they're
business.
not.
They only meet to discuss the business, so they really don't need a home like that. We need a home so that our employees go and do the information that is required by the National Gaming Commission. So they have to have an
When it's
office.
What I found out from
They're a
other tribes, how
regulatory.
they do theirs, I'm gonna use the Gold River, is that the name of it? Okay, Delaware, they do everything right there at that location. All their backgrounds, all their applications, everything's done right there on site. They don't have to go and pay whatever, they do it themselves.
But
They
we-
save a lot of money.
We have to have a permanent home for, they need a permanent home, but it has to be accessible to our Duval Casino, Carnegie people, our Burden people, and any other casinos that come forward. So that's what they're looking to do. I am in support of that. We'll see where that goes. I want to continue the meeting by going on to new business. There is no new business on the table right now. other public comments, I will take public comments, if there are any. Do we have anything out there in the internet world? All right,
After we adjourn, we can.
Madam Speaker,
can-
if you would take a moment to, in case some people don't know, could you introduce our KIC coordinator?
okay, yes, we'd love to welcome the new KIC coordinator who is here in the audience today, and that's Miss Devetta Gumasato. Thank you for coming. I haven't had a conversation with you, and thank you for coming. Like I said, if there's public comments, we're open to that. If not, we have some people getting on an airplane and some other stuff. I personally have a family funeral. Not trying to.
Madam Speaker, real quickly,
Yes.
could we have her talk about the meeting they just recently had? Just a brief 1 minute type of.
Did you want to do that,
Yes,
Miss Devetta?
yes,
3 minutes.
thank you. I'll be
Okay.
quick. I need to schedule 6 weeks of meetings within your district, starting this coming week. So whoever's ready to organize their meetings, please
I
do
am.
so.
I would like to do that. I have a meeting scheduled for January 23rd
Good.
at the Mount Scott Kiowa Indian Church out there in
Good.
Mount Scott area.
Mears area?
It will be from 6 till it ends.
Okay.
That evening, it's a Tuesday night. I've already confirmed that I would like to have that for District 4.
And I'll get with you on District 2.
Okay,
The same for District 6.
Okay.
Work on that.
And I'll get with you on District 5.
good. Because we have 6 weeks to get this out and get all our resolutions submitted. The absolute deadline is February 21st, and then we can start listing up the resolutions as they are entered.
Okay, could I have January 27th for the Tulsa group, Saturday?
Thank you. Is it-
And that's for District 7, right, Modena?
Yes, but anybody's invited.
Right.
Any KIC is
Um,
invited.
any member of, we kind of helped each other out because I've never been in before the community except during the election round. Anita and I, our districts are close. We had a meeting in Lawton already, and we need to get these meetings going with the community so we
Tulsa.
can hear their voice on how they
We'd
want
like
to move
for a
forward.
coordinator to work with us.
I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn, but if y'all wanna stay and visit with the legislators, after.
I would like to say something really quick with that to the.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. I'm gonna second that motion. All in favor, or
Yeah.
call for the vote?
Okay, Renee Plata,
Yes.
Rhonda Ahady, yes. Ron Kula,
Yeah.
Dave Gumasato,
Yes.
Anita Uncle Johnson,
Yes.
Medina Waters,
Was there a second on that?
yes, Ron Kula, Renee Plata seconded. Brian Wolf. 7 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 0 absent, motion carries. We're adjourning at, what time is it? 10:43.
10:43, Rhonda.
Okay.
Thank you all for coming.
In addition
Um,
to